Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to another amazing episode here on the Day with Trae. I got two phenomenal Black women in the building, y'all, right here in the Black Media Matter studios with me. Up first, I get the opportunity to talk to author Kathya Alexander. She's here to tell us more about why she chose to write her debut novel, Keep a Living. And later on in the show, we got Sheila Kay back in the building, y'all. We're going to be talking about her new song and her video, Black Voices Crying Out, y'all. I'm excited to have both of them joining me, but of course, I'm also excited to have y'all joining me. It is the top of the show, and it's the perfect time for you to literally join in by sharing the stream. Y'all are actually helping us grow our audience here by tagging and sharing this show with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness on the Day with Trae. And if you can't watch our highly produced and amazing video, don't worry. We also got amazing audio so you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find me on whichever platform is your favorite. There's a lot of them. Just search for us, y'all. We are there. I'm really excited. So, I got to dive in. Up next, we got Kathya Alexander. We're going to be talking about Keep a Living. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming today. I mean, every time I get the opportunity to speak with someone that decided to step into this world and share a story for others, I'm always interested in that backstory. Tell us a bit about your beginnings and why you said, I need to become an author.
So I've actually been a writer pretty much all my life. I have focused more on plays and also short stories. I'm a storyteller. And the novel I have been writing seems like all of my life. It took about 20 years from the time that I originally started it to the time of publication.
Wow.
So it certainly wasn't all of a sudden decision to start writing. It's just what it has evolved into.
Well, that's where you end up with a phenomenal work for folks to really dive into, because clearly there's something you want the audience to gain from this. When you think about pulling from your personal experiences to write Keep a Living, tell us about some of those pillars throughout your life that really find their way into your book.
So Keep a Living is set during the civil rights movement of the 1960s in Arkansas. And the civil rights movement greatly influenced my life and still influences my writing. So what I want people to understand, I'm kind of on this mission to teach the generations coming up, current generations, about the civil rights movement. As I said, I'm a storyteller and I talk to kids in schools all the time, and I'm actually quite horrified that most people don't really understand or know any of the specifics of the most successful social justice movement that has ever existed in this country. And people all around the world used the civil rights movement as a template for their movements, as I said, globally. And then we don't know about it here in America. So what I kind of get when I talk to students is that they kind of know that Rosa Parks sat on a bus, Martin Luther King made a speech, and then they seem to think that equal rights for Black people just happened as a result kind of those two events. And I really wanted people to understand all the decades of work that happened before those two events, during that time, and just share with them. I just talked to some young people recently and asked them if they'd ever heard of the civil rights, black students, asked them if they had ever heard of the civil rights movement. They said no. They knew about Rosa Parks, they knew about Martin Luther King, but they had no context really to put them in. And I even asked if they knew what slavery was. They said no. So, yeah, that was really surprising to me. And particularly now that there's this huge push to get our history kind of erased in schools, it happened to come out at a really, I think, pivotal time. And exactly, I moaned for 20 years that it didn't come out, but it seems like this is the perfect time that a book like this would be on the market now.
So really, you're bringing that history full throttle in Keep a Living. Tell us about some of the particulars that you have there that really shine a light on the civil rights era for folks to, the readers to kind of walk away with a firm understanding of.
So the book kind of covers time period of 1963, which was the Children's Crusade. That's the time when all those iconic pictures that you see of dogs being sicked on children and children being attacked with water hoses, that was called the Children's Crusade. And it goes to 1968, to the death of Martin Luther King. So the book tells a lot of different stuff and backstory, but that's the actual time period of the book. And, during that time, the 4 little girls were killed in the church. Meredith Matthews was shot. Medgar Evers was shot. And those are the national things that if people know anything about, they know of the things that happened nationally. But during that time, the civil rights movement was actually a movement of local grassroots people all over the country that were working to change things in their own communities. And so I go a lot in depth to explain the things that were happening in particular areas of the South in particular, and tie them into the things that were happening on a national level. For instance, a lot of people actually didn't want Martin Luther King to be present locally, mainly because that came with a lot of press, it came with a lot of usually negative attention, because he was also always considered this outside agitator that was stirring up our good colored folk, And so very often people requested that he not show up at local events. And the other thing that I kind of wanted to make clear is that now people hear Martin Luther King and he's this great hero, and it's like everybody was behind him, and that wasn't the case. Even all Black people weren't behind him. And so I actually have the mother character that kind of personifies that. She's, doesn't understand what all this fuss is about. People are getting killed, and she doesn't believe that things are ever going to change anyway. So, and they're using children. So there are a lot of Black mothers, you see the Black mothers like Ruby Bridges who walk their kids through, screaming hateful mobs of white people, but there are a lot of Black mothers that were like, I would never allow my child to be put in that kind of circumstance. Understandably, you know, certainly accolades to those parents who did, but there were a lot of my character, Belle in particular, is like, no way, you know, am I gonna let my child do that? And so I kind of explain a lot of things that were happening on the local level in different parts of the South, in addition to Martin Luther King.
So you're pulling together all of these historical pieces into a novel.
Yes.
So this is still like a fictional work,
Yes.
but you're basing it off of the reality of that time period.
Absolutely.
This is a really great way to do it too, because I think when we think about characterization, people can connect to a character, right? Sometimes it's easier to digest when it's in a novel format, when it's a story format, a story they can follow. So this is really exciting.
And how it influences. So the story is actually about this family, but it's a coming of age tale about this little girl who's, you know, living during a time when everything is changing all over the country, let alone in her own family. And I have a brother who is a DJ who travels around the country reporting on all of the events that are happening. And so what I have found, because again, I tell stories to students in Seattle Public Schools, actually all around the state, and because it's told from the perspective of this little girl, kids can relate, you know, and they're hurt when she's treated mean because of her race. And, you know, they can empathize in a totally different way than if they were just getting just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is clearly a combination of research, the factual piece of it, and then the creative. So I love how you've blended this together in a really great way to connect. I'm excited to get my copy, Kathya. Of course, I got to give you time. Look right here in the camera. Let folks know how they can purchase this amazing book.
Actually, right now, Elliott Bay Books have copies of the book, and you can also get them at books at Auntlutte, AUNTLUTE.com. Auntlutte is a feminist press that actually published the book.
Wow. Kathya, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
today and shedding some light on this phenomenal work.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Y'all, I'm fired up. Oh my goodness. That's a phenomenal way to start this episode. Of course, we're going to continue this firing up with Sheila Kay joining us right after this short break. Y'all, you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Africa Town Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africa Town Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africa Town Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Spring Awakening, live on stage this June at the Fifth Avenue Theater. Winner of 8 Tony Awards, Spring Awakening weaves youth, love, and the clash between generations all in one powerful rock musical. Buy tickets now at fifthavenue.org.
Ballet's greatest comedy, Coppelia, returns to Pacific Northwest Ballet. Perfect for all ages, Coppelia delights with dazzling dancing and magnificent music played by the PNB Orchestra. Seven performances only. Visit pnb.org for tickets.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me now is Sheila Kay. What's up, Sheila?
What's up, Trae?
Good to see you
I'm
again.
happy to be here.
Yeah, well, this is exciting because you're a phenomenal songstress, and you've been able to pour your love into the community through so many different ways, but song is one of those ways. Tell us about that gravitational pull to create art in terms of song.
Well, you know, I'll just back up a little bit. I raised 5 kids on my own after a nasty divorce. And so I put sort of my dreams on hold. And now that all my kids are grown, I can start really figuring out who I am, what I want to do, and how I want to do it. So I'll be 60 in August. So this will be my very first music video shoot of a song that I wrote. I wrote the lyrics, and my producer, Jamal Rockfizzle Robinson, he did the music. So how it came about was during 2020, when everything was on lockdown and George Floyd was murdered. And I had an entirely different song, that I wrote that was more just like a club song, I guess. And I was like, I can't do this with everything that's going on. I got to go deeper. And I kept hearing this like, okay, Black voice crying out, we're just always crying out. And we need people to hear that. And so that's how I came up with the song. And we worked on it a bit to get it to where it is. And this is what we're going to be doing. We'll be shooting the video June 29th at the Pits, Stanley Sayers Park, the boat dock, the Pits. So I just want to let everyone know that they're welcome to join us. And we want everyone to show up in their Black Lives Matter t-shirts or something Afrocentric, and just get the word out there. Get the word out there.
Well, songs always take that form of collaboration. How did you and Rockfizzle get together for this phenomenal song?
Well, we were already working on my first music project. I approached him several years ago, actually, and didn't follow through. And then finally, I was like, look, I have some music I want to write. Can you help me with that? Will you be my producer? And he's like, yeah, because he usually does hip hop. So it was a little challenging for him at first, because he had to step outside of his comfort zone and do a ballad, and a lot of spoken word, because I love doing spoken word. So that's how it came about. And we would stay up all night, and we grew very close through that process. Like, he's my little brother now, and getting to know each other. And then he would help me on certain things like, well, what do you want to emphasize on this song? Blah, 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 blah. So we also, for Black Voice Crying Out, though, we brought in Trae Black, who is my daughter's boyfriend. And he is a local hip hop artist. I don't know why I can't talk today. And also he is the musical director for the video. Wow. So we've already got a plan, and I'm super excited. Well, I'm super excited, not only for the community support, but just the fact that I'm doing this, at my age. So I'm like, I have to do it now. Yeah. I got to do it. And plus, it's important. Yeah. And I wanted to do something locally that addresses that issue in terms of, police violence and racial profiling and everything else that we have to deal with. And then on top of that, show how dope we are, because, when Black people get together, we know how to make things happen. Like, we'll turn anything into a party, you know what I mean? And just the amazingness of what we do when we come together. Yeah. And I want that to be shown. It's not just about showing the victims of police violence, because we know about all that. We see it on TV all the time. But what is there something that can make you smile, about us?
So needed.
So, we're awesome and precious. So
it's necessary.
It's necessary.
Well, I'm glad that you bet on you. You know, I mean, I don't think there's enough talk about people who put it into their own hands to say, I'm going to do the things that are burning within me. I got to bring that out. And so kudos to you, Sheila, because honestly, you know, it's easy. It sometimes seems easier to just like, I'm going to just stay where I'm at. This is the comfort zone here. You know what I mean? And so kudos to you for being like, you know what? I could do it. I can do this.
Right.
You've been doing great work, and now this is an amazing project on your own. When you think about the levels of resilience that you had to overcome to get to this point, just help the audience understand that. Because for me, it's also about them seeing themselves in you and your story.
Well, you know, I'm definitely not where I want to be. I've had some serious struggles this year, and the struggles continue, you know, but being able to do my art and having people that support me and got my back from my visions, which is like the real me. You know, we all probably go to jobs every day where we don't necessarily, it's not our dream, but we have to work to make a living until our dream comes true. And then we can sort of live in that mentally, emotionally, financially. And so, you know, when things are tough, I kind of say, well, you know, I have my video shoot to look forward to. You know, I have my birthday to look forward to. And so, which is also going to be an event. It's August 17th, and it's going to be my birthday, but also storytelling and the community showing up. It'll be an open mic. It'll be at the Flight Path. So I want everyone to be a part of that as well, and everyone to be a part of this video shoot, because I remember when we had the march when George Floyd got murdered, that march down Rainier Avenue. Do you remember that? And I always go back to that because that is what ignited me to write this particular song.
Wow.
And yeah.
So it's been brewing for some time.
It's been brewing for a while.
Wow.
So finally I'm like, yes. And I got a really solid team, and I'm excited about that because support is everything.
It really is.
It really is.
It helps you get through to the finish line. Well, Sheila, of course, you gave some details, but we got to get people there for this amazing video shoot. Look right here. Let them know how they tap in to this phenomenal opportunity for your video shoot.
Hey, everybody. So we're going to be at the Pits. It's on Lake Washington, Stanley Sayers Memorial Park. It's also a boat dock. We're going to do the video shoot there on Saturday the 29th from noon until 3. We'll be shooting it in 3 parts. Snacks and water will be provided. If you're a vendor or you want to set up camp down there and sell some food, you're more than welcome to. Everyone is welcome, but we need everyone to be there at noon with your Black Lives Matter t-shirts on or some sort of Afrocentric theme. And let's just do it. Let's have a good time. Let's represent Seattle.
There we go. Sheila, kudos to you. Congratulations, my friend. Great to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Y'all, I'm telling you, I told you we had some phenomenal queens in the building. I'm going to wrap all of this up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in then break you out. In the end, we gon' make a child. Then we gon' hit the show. Part 2, we don't need no pause. You miss me, we gon' get crazy. Don't need a power shot.
Copy my steel. Face the fact that. Copy my steel. Face the fact that.
Let's start the show.
Disenrollment is a situation whereby people whose birthright to be indigenous is being stolen from them by politicians that have been elected to lead.
Today, the latest or last chapter of the saga concerns the threatened physical ejectment of as many as 21 Nooksack families from their homes.
I think it's come about by hatred for our family. That's what it's all about.
Our bloodline is still here. You know, they can't get rid of us.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to thank my guests and thank y'all for joining me for this phenomenal episode. You know, I'm so inspired by the work of my guest today. Huge shout out to Kathya Alexander, author of Keep a Living. I'm so glad I got my copy because I will definitely be reading this with my family. I think it's important for us to identify and understand those specifics of the civil rights era that are still playing out to this very day. So shout out to the author, Kathya Alexander, for pouring her love into this work. Please make sure y'all tap in with Elliott Bay Books. Y'all can get this phenomenal work there. And also, I'll say huge shout out to Sheila Kay for being here, inviting all of us to participate in this amazing video shoot on the 29th of the month. Make sure y'all go down there to the docks. It's gonna be a blast. I already know, because they're ready to turn up and they're ready to showcase for the city of Seattle. So if you are somebody who finds that you got the time, you need to get down there, you got your BLM shirt, please get down there and support this phenomenal work. You know, if we don't pour into the artists here, you know, how can we expect anyone else to do so? So I encourage you to be inspired as I am by the stories and the life that my guests experienced and expressed here today. It's so important for all of us to find the ways to be a part of the solution, y'all. And you know, for me, I get to end the week with y'all tomorrow. And until then, at 11 a.m., peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.